All right, welcome everybody. So we're going to do a start to finish video on doing two at once, matching set of 32-ounce tumblers. So here we go. So we're going to get started on sanding, and I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video because it does get pretty boring. So the biggest thing is just roughing it up and getting all the coating off. And when you get to the bottom, these are those double insulated cups, so it's just got a plastic piece on. You want to get the plastic piece off without without removing that bottom tab, which will ruin that double insulation feature to these cups. And then I don't record my washing and priming of the cup. So then I put them onto my spinner and moving on to applying a base coat of epoxy. Some people like to use regular glue to hold glitter on. I use a base coat of epoxy for putting on glitter. I think it holds a much tighter in the long run. So I want my cups to last for a very long time. So this is what I choose to do, is to use epoxy as the base coat for the glitter to stick to. So, and I do both cups get a nice coat of epoxy. It's still a really thin coat, even for the glitter. Probably a little bit thicker coat than any final coats, but still just a little bit thicker coat than the final. But it is what it is. It's what I found works for me. Then go ahead and apply a little heat to each cup just to make sure that there's no bubbles. Getting set up for some glitter. And then I'm using multiple layers of glitter to give it a different color set. So using some green and some blue on this cup. So the primary color I want is blue, but I want the green to start showing through. But the thicker coat of the blue will not, and then will not allow the green to stick quite so much. So as you can see, as it's spinning, you can slightly see the green coming through. And then this is glow-in-the-dark glitter once there's all the coats, but as you can see, the glow-in-the-dark glitter doesn't stick quite so much. And then moving on to the other cup, this is black and red, and the primary color is the red, so I don't want the black to show through quite so much. So once the red really takes hold in the epoxy, the black doesn't stick quite so much. And then keep applying the red even more. And then I just use my flashlight to see how much is showing through and seeing if there's any paint showing through the colors. So, and then applying some glow-in-the-dark glitter to this one. And it looks like it's a lot of glow-in-the-dark glitter, but it's really not that much because it's on top of the glitter that's already sitting there. And this I want to really focus on because it looks like it's right after I've applied the glitter, but this is actually after the epoxy is fully set. Applying the wiping off, and this is wiping off all the excess, so you can see just a little bit of glitter falling off. So, and this is applying some the top coat of epoxy on top of the glitter to make sure that there's a base for any decals that I choose to put on this. These cups are going to get just sayings on them, but any cup can have anything onto them. So again, every single layer that I do is all epoxy just because I want them to be a more permanent layer to them. So I try to do my layers all top to bottom. I don't like going side to side unless I need to smoothen it out. So it's just the process I try to do. And by what I mean by smoothing it out is if I feel a thicker section that I need to get it swirled around more. So in all my stuff here, I've got it sped up here just to keep it going. So you get the sense of everything that I'm doing here. But all in all of my sections are timed at it took all of about 2.5 hours, not including the drying time. Drying time's about a day in between. I don't like using the quick set because it feels more plasticky. So this just makes it feel like a more permanent when I don't use the quick set epoxy. And then once that's all done and on there, go ahead and start making my statements for each cup. This is the one that's going on the red cup. It's I was tired yesterday, I'm still tired today, and retired life will be on the opposite side. So I use a Cricut Explorer Air 2, and then taking it apart on the mat. You can do it either way. You'll see me pull it off the mat here shortly. And there you go. Pulled it off the mat. Got to pull all the little pieces out from in between the letters. It's not a fun process. It does take quite a bit of time. And then applying some transfer tape. And then we got to make the same for the blue cup. So, and this one is might be juice in this cup. Again, retired life. So that, like, colors are different, sayings are different, but it is a matching set for as a gift for my parents. And this one I didn't even attempt to pull them off on the mat at all. So I pulled them off completely, then got to pull all the little pieces out from underneath in between the letters, then apply some transfer tape. And then once again, we got to sand it down. So in between each layer, you got to sand it down, except for when you're applying on top of glitter. Glitter's already got, you want the epoxy to get into the glitter, so if you try to sand it down while the glitter's on, you're going to sand the glitter off. So trying to sand it down with the glitter on top of glitter, you're just going to sand all your glitter off. So, but once you've got epoxy on, you just got to sand it down, roughen it up, and then wipe it down. I use isopropyl alcohol, and this cleans up all the sand dust off, so that way when you apply your decals, on mine you can see the letters being applied, the sayings, and then I rotate it around so I get on the opposite side. And then we move on to the other cup. Make sure it's all smooth. Rotate it around to the other side. Do the same thing. You want to get it as smooth as possible, so if you get everything as smooth as it can be. This one was giving me a hard time. It was wanting to stick to my transfer tape. So I kept having to use my tools to get it off the transfer tape. But like I was saying, as long as you get it smooth, it only takes one coat of epoxy. I've had a lot of issues where stuff likes to try and peel up, and it can take, sometimes 2 or 3 coats of epoxy after I put my decals or letters on. I just finished a cup for my wife that took 3 coats just to smooth out one little spot. And the danger with that is that it can add more weight to it, and it not much because each layer is not that thick, but it does add a little bit more weight to it, makes it a little bit thicker. So you just got to be cognizant of that and just maybe sand it down a little bit more. But these ones luckily only took 1 coat, and it was able to set and cure after 1 coat. So this is finalizing it all, and I just smooth them down. I do everything by hand, by fingers, except for cutting out my sayings and decals. So this finishes it up. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.